This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
You thought I was bluffing, where you at? I came here for vengeance, watch your back. No need to defend, I'm on attack. Sorry they can't reply, but I guarantee they had a blast. Pop, 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 I be on the next on the yacht. I am fresh to death, just call the coroner. I'm a native champ, you just a foreigner. Is that all you got? Come on, you boring us. Hey, looking for the champ, we on the way. Now's your chance to say it to my face. I'ma take the title to my grave. Spiritual, I turn you all to pay.
I drop bombs, yeah, I got pipes like Mambo and Python. Dropping all bombs, I drop bombs.
Is rated MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, you know it. That even on a Whip 'em Out Wednesday, it does not matter who the host is. Anyways, how are you? I hope everything is good and grandioso in your neck of the woods. No doubt about it. Anyways, you have just tuned in to the Rated R Safety Show, in case you did not know that, especially after that all that introduction. But listen, let's talk real quick. Today's Wednesday, November the 29th of 2023, day 333 of the year, and only 32 days left to go. I'm telling you, we're so close I can taste it. There you go. So we are broadcasting from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM, and then we are hanging out with our friends and colleagues over there.
Radio Big.
Yes, good old Radio Big is where we hang, sometimes where we bang, and all that kind of fun stuff as we get to talk, hang out, and do all the things that are happening inside of the world. So anyway, Cyber Monday occurred 2 days ago. Extended sales happened at some point yesterday. Also, it was Giving Tuesday. So I don't know, a lot of stuff going on, that is for sure. So, I don't know. It felt like the wallet came out quite often over the last few days. That is for sure so. Anyways, with that being said, let's talk a little bit, a tiny smidgen of time in regards to some things. So let's get into it right away. If you're not familiar with the show, we talk about safety in the news and safety. It's kind of the general consumption of what you're going to be doing here. We have some professional broadcasters that come in and will spew all over the stuff in regards of what the hell's going on inside of the world. Because listen, they are getting news cycles in real time, as close as you can get. No doubt about it, especially if you take a listen to some of the stuff that people have to say here. So there you go. And if you want to interact with the show, it's a simple process. Simple, like simplicity at its finest. You go to callinradio.com. Yeah, that's it. Radio station website, callinradio.com. Once you get there, that will get you onto the air. That either be via video, audio, or even text messaging. That will get you into our system, and we'll know exactly what to do. Kind of how the world is laid out for us. So there you go, some stuff to think about as we are hanging. So with that being said, why don't we start looking real quick at whatever the hell was trending in the overnight, because I always think that that's important.
Here is what was trending. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so when I look at the trends of the ends of the ends of the ends, this is what was trending. Jeff Bezos is bringing Amazon with him to Miami, and the TSA announces a new milestone. We'll get into that as we get into the shit list. Also, Apple Music has named the Artist of the Year, and Corey Bierman gets hit with another lawsuit. We'll talk about that as in show business. Mark Cuban is leaving the tank, and Spinal Tap sequel gets some more famous faces, so we'll talk about that stuff, and then we'll talk about what is going on this lovely Whip 'em Out Wednesday in the world of safety in the news. So we'll do some of that stuff. By the way, I'm going to tell you, if you have not hung out on Safety FM in regards of listening to some of the other stuff, I'm going to encourage you today to do so. And the reason I say this is for the following. There is such a large slew of different kind of people that are there. And I'm talking about different formats of what they're talking about in the world of safety. If you have not had a chance, safetyfm.com, the Google Play Store, or even the Apple App Store, the Alexa skill is also an availability in regards of doing that. And of course, TuneIn Radio in regards if you want to take a listen to Safety FM. Also, this pretty much the same thing works for Radio Big. Only thing you have to do is go to radiobig.fm. The options there is Live 365, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, and there is their own app of Radio Big. Hit or miss, depending on where you can find it sometimes. So there you go. Some stuff going on right there. Anyways, with that being said, why don't we do this morning and go ahead and bring in, let's see, who are we going to have this morning? We're going to have some Mark Mayfield coming in, letting us know about what the hell is going on in the world of the news.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
NBC News Radio, I'm Mark Mayfield. 12 more hostages have been released by Hamas as part of an extended ceasefire deal with Israel. Yesterday's swap came after a temporary pause in fighting was extended an additional 2 days. In exchange, 30 additional Palestinian detainees were released from Israeli prisons. It's hoped that more swaps are on the horizon, even as both sides are claiming there's been violations of the ceasefire agreement. Congressman Ronnie Jackson is calling on President Biden to get a cognitive test or drop out of the presidential race. Trey Thomas reports.
The Texas Republican is the former White House physician who gave President Donald Trump perfect health scores.
Look at what's going on right now domestically. I mean, what he's done to our country, and he's not in control. He does not know what's going on.
He says he's concerned that something could be wrong with the 81-year-old commander-in-chief, and it's becoming too much for the country to handle. I'm Trey Thomas.
Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell says getting serious about border security starts with fixing the Biden administration's border crisis.
National security begins with border security.
On the Senate floor, McConnell said that illegal migration has left the asylum and parole systems in desperate need of reform. McConnell added there needs to be meaningful policy changes addressing the southern border before any supplemental national security legislation could pass the Senate. Disgraced South Carolina lawyer and convicted murderer Alex Murdaugh has been sentenced for nearly 24 financial crimes. He was in court yesterday after pleading guilty in exchange for a 27-year prison sentence. Murdaugh is already serving 2 life terms in prison for the murders of his wife and son, a crime he says he did not commit. And National Park Service officials say the lighting of the National Christmas Tree will go on tomorrow. The tree fell over yesterday afternoon after strong winds blew through President's Park near the White House. The tree was pulled upright and a cable was replaced. This year's tree was placed in the park rather than being planted, and the Park Service says it plans to evaluate that decision after the holiday season. You're listening to the latest from NBC News Radio.
Safety never sounded so terrible. Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Ollie Barrett. Talks have been continuing in Qatar over another extension to the ceasefire between Israel and Hamas. Myanmar says 3 Chinese Navy ships are in the country for drills as fighting near the border strains ties between the neighbours. UK PM Rishi Sunak's facing pressure from his own MPs for new plans to cut immigration. And Amazon's cloud computing arms unveiled new chips designed to help customers train artificial intelligence models.
Listen at your own risk. Rated R Safety Show.
The president's son will testify before a congressional committee in a few weeks. Rory O'Neill reports.
Hunter Biden will testify before the House Oversight Committee December 13th. A letter from Hunter Biden's lawyer confirms the president's son is willing to testify in an open hearing. The younger Biden was subpoenaed earlier this month as part of the Oversight Committee's impeachment probe. The committee has also asked the president's brother, James Biden, to appear for an interview December 6th. I'm Rory O'Neill.
Harvard University is under investigation by the Department of Education over anti-Semitic incidents that have happened since the war started between Israel and Hamas. The investigation, announced on Tuesday, is meant to determine if civil rights violations have taken place on campus. New York Representative George Santos says he will face an expulsion vote over resigning his seat.
So they can keep up, they can keep doing this, but my message to them is either put up or shut up and enough of the charade.
A third expulsion vote will take place this week after Representative Robert Garcia introduced a resolution on the House floor Tuesday. Santos is accused of breaking campaign finance laws and lying in his campaign, facing 23 criminal charges in all. In a floor speech Tuesday, Santos said that the vote undermines and underscores the precedent in the chamber. All 41 trapped construction workers in a collapsed tunnel in the Himalayas are all now safe. Indian rescuers were able to successfully reach the group after drilling for days through the debris. They were trapped for a total of 17 days. The men were pulled out Tuesday on stretchers through a 3-foot-wide steel pipe. And the star quarterback of the New York Jets will consider a return from injury if the team has a chance to make the playoffs. Aaron Rodgers told the Pat McAfee Show on Tuesday that his health comes first. Then the question becomes if the team is in it and could make a run at the postseason. The Super Bowl-winning QB underwent surgery to repair his Achilles in September, but Rodgers teased that he's inching closer to getting back on the practice field. Mark Mayfield, NBC News Radio.
Listen to our host of the Rated R Safety Show self-implode on our airwaves, only on Safety FM.
Get ready to skyrocket your safety consulting career with the Cyber Week Safety Consultant Package. This limited time offer is your golden ticket to success, but it's available only during Cyber Week 2023 until Friday, December 1st at midnight. Dive into a year of expert guidance with safetyconsultant.tv, valued at $150. Master the game-changing Safety Consultant Blueprint course, worth $275. And yes, a private, half-an-hour one-on-one call, guiding you on your journey, valued at $150, is included. The total package value? A massive $575. But during Cyber Week, it's yours for just $275. Don't miss this one-time opportunity. Claim your Cyber Week Safety Consultant Package now at sheldonprimus.com/cyberweek. Your success is just a click away.
Well, you know that here at Safety FM and Radio Big, we're always trying to look for life hacks, though. With the busy season just around the corner, you might be looking for wholesome, convenient meals for your jam-packed days. Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal kits, can help you fuel up with fast chef-prepared, dietitian-approved, and ready-to-eat meals delivered straight to your door. You'll save time, eat well, and stay on track with your healthy lifestyle. Refresh your healthy habits without missing a beat. Choose from 34 weekly flavored packs. Dietitian-approved meals ready to eat in 2 minutes. All you need to do is head over to factorsmeals.com/safetyfm50 and use code safetyfm50 to get 50% off. That's code safetyfm50 at factormeals.com/safetyfm50 to get 50% off. Go there. Do it now.
Is your safety training old, stale, and hacked? Is your safety trainer still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety? How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Posel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
It's always amazing to me on how technology changes, and so does the environment that we're in. And cyber criminals will do everything they can to take advantage of a system. If you don't own a home, you have nothing to fear about what I'm about to tell you. But if you own a home like me and you don't guard it with home title lock, you're inviting home title fraud. One of the fastest growing crimes. Cyber thieves around the world know our home values are sky high at the moment, and that makes us a target. The crime is scary simple. Let me explain it to you real quick. A cyber thief simply forges your name on a property sale form and refiles it. That's it. Now he or she is on the deed of your home and you have no idea that you're a victim. Then the person takes out a loan on your home and vanishes, leaving you to prove to the police that you didn't commit bank fraud. Home Title Locks puts a virtual barrier around your home title. The instant they detect any kind of tampering or anybody messing around, they help shut it down. Look, if you have equity in your home, you need to guard it the best way that you can. Some people might even go as far as guarding it with their life. Go to HometitleLock.com and register your address to see if you already are a victim. And enter the code RADIO. That's RADIO. That's the code RADIO for 30 days free of protection. That's code RADIO at HometitleLock.com.
You are listening to a radio god. What? This has to be an error. That host is not a radio god. Anyways, this is the Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
So there you go. That is for sure. We are still hanging and banging on this lovely Whip 'em Out Wednesday, so feel free to. It is 16 minutes past the top of the hour as we are hanging out and doing the things that we get to do around here, no doubt about that. So yes, hour number 1 of the Jay Allen in the Morning Show on Radio Big and on Safety FM as we are hanging out on this Rated R Safety Show on the lovely Wednesday. So let's get into some more news stuff because, hey, that's what we're here for, so let's do it. Anyways, take a listen to this. A 12-year-old Michigan boy remains in police custody after stealing a massive construction vehicle from outside, yes, I did say from outside the middle school on Saturday night. The kid hijacked Construction Genie GTH 636 telehandler, which comes with a 3,500-pound forklift that is taking it on about an hour-long joyride through the city. Fortunately, no one was injured, and police eventually stopped the vehicle during a very low-speed chase, maxing out about 20 miles per hour. That is like super slow speed in regards. The driver's identity has not been released because he's a minor. NBC News. So what do you think here? I mean, that is an interesting one. As you kind of go through it, what are you doing the joyride at that particular time? You're just kind of hanging out and going, yeah, let's do the joyride. I don't know. I don't even think I would have the guts at 12 to go about and hang out for a moment and go ahead and say, hey, it's time to do a vehicle eagle thing and take out a vehicle and hang out and stuff. I mean, I don't know. I look at it and go, I can't even fathom what my parents would have done to me if I would have said, hey, yeah, I decided to go for a joyride and take out a little vehicle action and just to see what exactly they're going to tell me. Because that would have not went over well at all. So that's just kind of how that particular one goes. You know what else I got for you? Well, I got some Jeff Bezos stuff because people are going to want to know about that. No doubt about it. So even though Jeff Bezos has stepped down from the day-to-day operations at Amazon, his move to Miami has a company looking for 50,000 square foot office space in the area. There's already 400 employees working in the Miami area for Amazon. Bezos has been snapping up hundreds of millions of dollars in real estate in the area of Miami, with plans of building an enormous compound for the ritzy Indian Creek Island. This is according to New York Post. So what do you think here? I mean, is he trying to do something Disney style? You remember years and years ago before Disney World became a thing in Florida, there was multiple realtors that went out and bought stuff, and that's how the compound of Disney was ended up forming. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of an interesting one overall. Anyways, the Transportation Security Administration said Sunday was the biggest air travel day in American history. Nearly 3 million people went through the screening process that day, just enough to beat the previous record set on June the 30th of this year. This is according to The Hill. So were you there on Sunday? Getting to do all that stuff? I mean, I get paranoid when we start getting into that sequence of events. There is no doubt there That is for sure. Anyway, it's more than 3,000 car dealership owners across the country have signed on to an open letter calling for the change of the regulations that will require 2/3 of all vehicle sales to be electric by 2032. That's about 16% of all dealerships nationwide. The letter acknowledges the excitement for EVs in the market, but they note the customers simply don't have enough interest to meet the demand. Even with the deep price cuts, manufacturers' incentive, and generous government incentives, the signers also note that many people just want to make their choice about the vehicle that is right for them. They're calling for more time to develop domestic sources for gathering raw materials necessary to make batteries and building wider infrastructure for things like charging stations. This is according to EV Voice of thecustomers.com. That almost sounded like a plug. But I don't know. What do you think about the infrastructure? I mean, what kind of area are you in that would actually support an EV infrastructure, or are you somewhere where it does not have it at all? Because here's the thing. Could you fathom this for a moment? Let's just use a Tesla for an example. The majority, 80% of the charge can be done in roughly about 20 minutes. And we're ballparking here in regards of talking about this. So let's say that you have 4 or 5 cars in front of you and you're limited to 4 chargers. So that means if there's 4 cars already there and you are the 5th car, you're waiting. You're waiting some time to get this done. And if there's other cars in front of that car that's already charging off, well, shit, you're going to have some time to wait. So I don't know. It's going to be one of these interesting things as we see it. No doubt about it. Anyways, North Koreans went to the polls on Tuesday where an unexpected number of people voted against the ruling Communist Party. State media reported that over 99% of voters selected party-approved candidates, a departure from typically unanimous number elected officials receive. Analysts say that even with the results are cooked, the country wants to create the appearance of choice and freedom and of the tune of dozens of votes. So there you go. I don't know. It gets a weird one as we are talking about it. Take a listen to this. Charlie Munger has died, the longtime lieutenant of Berkshire Hathaway, head of Warren Buffett. Okay, let's try that again. Longtime lieutenant to Berkshire Hathaway, head Warren Buffett died on Monday morning in a California hospital. Munger became a billionaire in his own right over the years with an amazing fortune worth about $2.5 billion. He was 99 at the time of his passing. So there you go. That's some unexpected news. That was hitting up some things yesterday as we are talking. Anyways, let's go ahead and do this real quick. Let's go ahead and bring in some Aaron Royale, and let's talk about some matters related to money.
Consumer confidence is bouncing back after 3 straight monthly declines. Michael Kastner reports.
The Conference Board's Consumer Confidence Index rose 3 points in November. The board's chief economist noted improved confidence about future business conditions, job availability, and incomes. Still, fewer consumers plan to buy big-ticket items, including homes and autos, in the next 6 months as interest rates remain high. I'm Michael Kastner.
Google is days away from deleting inactive accounts. Phil Hewlett explains.
Beginning December 1st, Google will delete unattended accounts of all photos, calendar entries, emails, contacts, and Drive documents. The company says it's an effort to protect users from security threats. According to Google's data experts, accounts with old or reused passwords are 10 times more likely to be compromised by hackers. To keep an account from being deleted, simply log into any of the following Google tools: Gmail, Google Drive, Google Photos, or Google Play. Changing the account password and enabling 2-factor verification is recommended. I'm Phil Hewlett.
Some YouTube users can now play games on their accounts. Silvana Anau has the story.
Premium subscribers just gained access to about 3 dozen titles, including Solitaire, Angry Birds, and The Daily Crossword, and they're available in the platform's Explore tab under Playables. They don't need to be downloaded or installed, but the games might not be here to stay. YouTube said it would test the addition until late March.
Mark Cuban says he's ready to leave Shark Tank. On the Showtime podcast All the Smoke, Cuban said the next season of the ABC series will be his last. Cuban first guest starred on Shark Tank in season 2 and will leave after 16 seasons. He told the podcast host that he loves the show because of the message of the American dream being alive and well. Cuban said he's invested in hundreds of companies over the years, and he's proud that the show has inspired multiple generations of entrepreneurs. Consumer and business news, Aaron Royale, NBC News Radio.
Okay, thank you, Aaron Royale, for that information right there on what the hell is going on inside of the world of money, honey, because money does matter. So let's talk about what I was able to find. It goes something along this way. The Dow added about 83 points to close at 35,416 on Tuesday. The S&P picked up about 4 points to close at 4,554, and the NASDAQ added about 40 points to close at 14,281. West Texas Intermediate closed at $76 a barrel, and Brent crude was at $81 a barrel. The national average price of a gallon of gas was $3.24 on Tuesday. Bitcoin gained nearly 2% on trading just under $38,000 in the evening, and there was more than 2,635 flights delayed within, into, and out of the United States on Tuesday, with about 40 such cancellations. Tonight's Powerball drawing will be for $374 million jackpot, or $173.5 million cash payout. So if you want to play the game, you still have the chance to do so. So there you go. Yeah, because people do want to play the game, I think. Seems that way. So there you go. Anyways, take a listen to this. New York Republican Representative George Santos says that he will face the expulsion vote rather than resign. Trey Thomas has more deets.
A third expulsion vote will take place this week after Representative Robert Garcia introduced a resolution on the House floor Tuesday.
So they can keep up. They can keep doing this. But my message to them is either put up or shut up, and enough of the charade.
Santos is accused of breaking campaign finance law and lying in his campaign, facing 23 criminal charges in all. I'm Trey Thomas.
Put up or shut up? I mean, what exactly are you putting up? I'm trying to figure this out. So anyways, take a listen to this. The Pentagon says that missiles fired from the rebel-controlled area of Yemen in the direction of the Navy warship were not intended for the vessel. Trey Thomas has more.
Pentagon Press Secretary Pat Ryder.
I can't speak for what the intended target was. And would have to refer you to the Houthi rebels to talk to that.
The missile landed near the USS Mason and a commercial tanker, but the Pentagon assessed they weren't singled out. I'm Trey Thomas.
Okay, thank you, Trey, for that right there. As we are talking, moving, grooving, and all that fun stuff, because why would it not be exciting on a Web 'em Out Wednesday to talk about it? So there you go. Anyways, take a listen to this. A family in Marshall, Michigan is currently out of their home after their fireplace caught fire on Monday evening. Marshall Fire Chief Martin Arinsky says that the crew left Marshall's Christmas parade around 7:30 p.m. to respond to a fire at East Hughes Street, and adds that the fireplace had not been inspected. Firefighters got the fire under control within about 10 minutes. The wood-burning fireplace is believed to be the original to the home, but the chief also says that the homeowners are new and did not know that the last time that it had been used or inspected. The home was destroyed and repairs will be made. So I don't know how the home is. Oh, the home was not destroyed. I guess that one word plays a huge factor into the whole thing. So there you go. There you go. Some stuff right there. What do you think when you hear stuff like this? It kind of makes you wonder about some things, no doubt about it. Anyways, attorneys for both Ottawa County Board of Commissioner and Ottawa County Health Officers, Adeline Hambley, have made and agreed to bring the mediator to reach a settlement over Hambley's job. County Board Attorney David Coleman called it as a positive step.
I think anything's on the table. There, like I say, it could go 100 different ways. That's all I can say, until we get into the mediation and see what people are saying.
Hambley said that Sarah Howard says that they will take every step to attempt to work with them in the county is willing to do the mediation. Howard says the county has agreed to $4 million payout for Hambley to resign, but the county board says that was never finalized. Coleman says the mediation could result in Hambley's keeping her job. So Adeline Hambley's attorney, Sarah Howard, says the county needs to be willing to mediate.
If we're talking about an agreement where my client comes back, she's going to need some protection, that she's not going to be facing another termination hearing in a month. And if they're not willing to offer that protection, that's not going to be a deal that we're interested in.
Okay, so here's going to be the question there. So let's make the deal. Let's understand the deal. But if you do a deal like that, what it's going to be is that it's going to have a reference that you can be terminated because of cause. That's going to be the thing. So everything will be related to causality going forward. Just think about it.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
I don't think I'm being an idiot. I think I'm just telling you exactly what normally comes about. That's just kind of the way that it happens, no doubt about it. So just think about it. What else do we have around here? Let's see. The Arkin, Arkin. Arkin is actually Batman. Akron Police Department is releasing an internal investigation results of 2022 fatal police killing of Jalen Walker. Mark Mayfield has the deets.
Akron Chief of Police Stephen Marlette said the use of deadly force was in compliance with the policies of the City of Akron Police Department and that it did not violate protocol. The shooting happened last June when 8 officers, 7 of them white, were involved in shooting an unarmed Walker who was black. Protests erupted all over the country after Walker's death last summer. In April, a grand jury decided not to bring charges against the officers involved in his shooting death. I'm Mark Mayfield.
So that makes it pretty interesting as you take a listen to that. So what do you think? Have you seen anything related or not really? I'm just asking the questions because I'm always curious on what exactly is going on. No doubt about it. Anyways, let's take a look at some other stuff. Let's see. Take a listen to, let me share this one. Get ready to dig a little deeper if you want a real Christmas tree experience, especially in San Diego, California. Phil Farrar has the deets.
The American Christmas Tree Association says prices this year up 10%. Blame it on inflation, higher gas prices, and wildfires. Tyler Stokes is part of the family Christmas tree farm in El Cajon, 15 miles east of downtown San Diego. Says this is what you'll pay for the smell of the season.
7 to 8 foot Doug fir. They're $100. We actually grow our own pine trees as Christmas trees. 7 to 8 foot tree for just $70.
And the most popular day to buy a Christmas tree, December 2nd. I'm Phil Farrar.
Okay, so you're telling me in 3 days you're kind of hosed if you didn't get the tree already. It's what it sounds like, that's for sure. Anyways, take a listen to this. Google Maps is getting some heat for guiding travelers down a desert road to nowhere. Brooke Walker explains.
Drivers heading back to L.A. from Vegas earlier this month attempted to bypass a dust storm in the Mojave Desert. Shelby Easler and her family were returning from the Formula One race in Sin City and relied on Google Maps to help out. Unfamiliar with I-15, Easler took Google's suggested time saver. Before long, she and a dozen other travelers were on an unforgiving dirt road in the desert. Ultimately, she made it back to Vegas, where she was forced to leave her car at a service center for tire and alignment repairs. I'm Brooks Walker, NBC News Radio.
Okay, thank you, Brooks Walker, for that one. But here's my question. How does this even become part of a story? I need to know. I really need to know. Come on, baby, because I need to know. No, seriously, it's one of those interesting ones. Listen, I don't know how you travel, but I'll tell you what I do. I normally have multiple GPS systems, or at least platforms, that I'm using just to make sure which one's kind of accurate, because I've had some that have thrown me out in the middle of nowhere. I thought kind of most people already knew that in regards to what you need to do.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, let's talk about it on this Whip 'em Out Wednesday main story time. There is no doubt about that, because listen, this is what the show is about. We talk about the stories of what the hell is going on inside of the world, no doubt about it. So what do you think? What do you think's going on today? What do you think's happening today? What do you think is moving forward? Listen, I have to tell you, I recently was involved in a very serious conversation. It was so serious that I wasn't even sure what the hell was going on. So I have had this blessed life so far in regards of being able to go to places and be involved with speaking engagements, interacting with people that are inside of this style of work, interacting with people that want to hear about this style of work. And it's always amazing to me on what people want to do. And let's talk about this. If you go to an event where there's multiple speakers, there's always placements on the card in regards of who's going to speak and when. And let's be realistic. If you've ever been to one of these big conferences, you know that you don't want to be the speaker on the last day for the last session. And why do I say that? Well, if you've ever been to one of these safety events, most people try to sneak out before they actually are done. It's just what happens. If you take a look around, you're always kind of amazed on the last day how there's not that many people there because they all have vanished. I remember I had a guy that I used to work for, and he told me the secret. He was like, this is the secret when you go to a safety event. And I was like, what do you mean the secret? He goes, what you do is on the first day, you go in there and you get as many brochures as you want. And you have them. And you make sure to bring those home with you with your name tag. And I was like, okay. And then the following day when you go back to work, or whenever you go back to work, make sure you put those brochures and that name tag on your desk. That way when people come into your office, they will know that you were somewhere else and you really didn't attend. And I was like, that is the weirdest thing possible in regards to that. So I'm not telling you this for you to go out and try to not go to a safety event. That's not the case. But the point of bringing that up is that people do some very strange things when they go to some of these events. And sometimes if we pull the curtain back a little bit, some people will have we'll say a keynote speaker. And this is a true keynote speaker when I say that. I'm talking about the person that's attracting the people to come in. And recently I was involved with an event where we'll say the keynote speaker was no longer involved. The keynote speaker had to pull out due to some medical issues, and that's perfectly fine because those things happen. And the people are scrambling, and they're saying, who now should be the main person on this card? Who is the most important person to be involved with this? And I looked at them, and I guess they were kind of in shock that I just kind of paused for a moment. And I referenced on how the most important person to be involved with this is the audience. It's no one else. It's not the speaker. It's not the people that are putting on the event. It's the people that are showing up to learn the information. I'm not talking about how my former boss used to do stuff, but I'm talking about the people that are actually there to learn. That's the most important portion. When it's all said and done, I think sometimes we tend to forget what is important in this world of safety and what isn't. And we need to focus on the things that are stuff that we can control opposed to things that we can't control. Safeguards is something we've talked about for years on this show, and that will never change. And we talk about it across pretty much all the shows that I'm on. So when it's all said and done, remember at the core what's important. It's about disseminating information for people to be able to use it. It's not a placement on a card. That's not as important as most people think that it is. Think about that for a moment.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You are listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with PIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly. Less than $2 a month and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take PIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN.
Right now, our country feels divided, but there's a place where people are coming together.
I gotta tell you, I was nervous to talk to someone so different than me.
Me too, but I'm glad we are.
Love Has No Labels and One Small Step are helping people with different political views, beliefs, and life experiences come together through conversation, and it feels good.
Wow, your story is so...
Interesting?
Yeah.
When people actually sit down, talk, and listen to one another, they can break down boundaries and connect as human beings. At lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep, you can listen to amazing, life-changing conversations and find simple tools to start a conversation of your own.
I know one thing. This conversation gives me hope.
It gives me a lot of hope, too.
Take a step toward bringing our country and your community together by having the courage to start a conversation at lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep. A message from StoryCorps, Love Has No Labels, and the Ad Council.
People do some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s. Why should saving for retirement be any different? I mean, they go back to college, learn new instruments, start skateboarding. Whoa! Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement is. With aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement savings no matter your age. Just have a 3-minute chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach from AARP. You'll get personalized recommendations based on your input that are easy to understand and work with your lifestyle. It's quick, easy, and free. Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back.
Gnarly move, Dad.
Thanks, sweetie.
So wherever you are in your retirement savings journey, head to aceyourretirement.org and start chatting with Avo today. That's aceyourretirement.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
What do guys like besides pizza and morning sex?
Jay Allen in the morning.
It's so bizarre and unnatural.
It's all good on Radio Big.
Watch your step, look out for mine. You don't want to cross the line. Eyes is full of dollar signs. I'ma take what's mine. This is war, chaos. Way too much to lose, can't afford to take a day off. Carrots on my jewels, big boss, tell them lay off. I ain't never scared, but I can promise you that they are. High annihilate cities and keep the mask on. Promise it won't be pretty soon as I blast off. Flag, bang, no pain. I'm a bad man, I play no games. Hey, looking for the champ, we on the way.
Okay, there you go. That's Mamba by Bryce Green right there. You are still hanging out here on the Rated R Safety Show, our number uno of the Jay Allen in the Morning Show. Yeah, this song's readily available to stream on this lovely Whip 'em Out Wednesday. You can go to YouTube Music, Apple Music, Spotify. Yeah, we got them all for you.
I'ma take what's mine. This is
Okay, thanks for Bryce Green for allowing us to play this here on the Rated R Safety Show. No doubt about it. 43 minutes past the top of the hour in case if you are lost in a romance or a wilderness of pain. And all your something else. Okay, so there you go. That's what's going on inside of there. So let's talk. Let's hang out. Let's do some things because we have limited time left before we have to move on to the next thing. There is no doubt about it. But we need to talk about this. Because not is it just the most important thing that I will ever tell you in my lifetime, it could also help save lives. So no matter what you're facing, you deserve to be connected to help. To Right Love on Her Arms wants you to know that people have been where you are and things can get better. Healing is possible. Seriously, it really is. Sometimes people think that it is not possible, but it is. So to find out more information on what I'm talking about, all you have to do is go to TWLOHA.com. That's To Right Love on Her Arms. Click on the far right section, on the section that says Find Help. Once you get there, you can find help for all kinds of stuff. There are helplines that are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Some of the topics that they discuss is addiction. Topics such as depression, anxiety, eating disorders, self-injury, suicide, trauma, grief support resources, just to name a few. So if you want to find out more, TWLOHA.com. To Right Love on Her Arms. TWLOHA.com. That will give you more information about what exactly is going on right there. So there you go. To Right Love on Her Arms. Let's get into some more information about some things that are going on across the multiverse. There is no doubt about that. So let's talk about this. Is it real? Yeah, the word of the year, according to Merriam-Webster, is authentic. Really, no pun intended. Actually, when you think about it, it does make sense. The year was dominated by headlines about deep fakes, AI, fake news, and whatever the heck Elon Musk was up to. Editors at large Peter Solowinski said that the lookups for the word routinely heavy on the dictionary's website. They were boosted to new heights this year because the kind of crisis of authenticity. He pointed out that, what we realize is that when we question authenticity, we value it even more. Others considered for the word of the year include Riz, implode, coronation, deepfakes, and indict. Come on, Swifties, no karma, no anti-hero. I mean, I'm just saying, you'll have to get better next year for this. And then my word of the year was woot. But I've never been the one to be right on top of things either. So there you go. Some things to talk about as we are talking. Take a listen to this real quick. Hot Girls Walk. Yeah, this is not something I'm making up. Have been the talk of the internet, or at least on TikTok since 2021. When content creator Mia Lind first shared her method for looking and feeling her best. But those of us in the Northern Hemisphere move into the coldest months. The Experts Shape magazine say that they are making the case of Chilly Girl Walk. Those who take an outdoor walk in the cooler temps and can expect to enjoy the mental and physical benefits of a hot girl walk, plus a few more. Being outdoors in the cold helps us gain perspective, feel more joyful, and feel more connected. In addition, it may encourage you to take deeper breaths as well as the previous sunlight exposure, so rare of this time of the year. And if you step in a puddle, well, there you go. You have some deep breaths. No doubt about that. Take a listen to this one real quick. A 28-year-old spent about $20,000 creating an 80s Barbie-themed apartment and then decided to do the same with her house. Hannah Darrell has been trying out different colors on her home in L.A. And she painted the wall pink and had an epiphany inspiring her to spend the year creating, a Barbie-inspired design. When she then and her husband relocated to Oklahoma, she began painting every room pink and sourcing vintage finds such as heart-shaped bathtubs for the 2-bedroom Barbie dream house. Her love of pink was so evident in the dress sense that she also loves wearing princess dresses and vintage outfits that match the house. She says the color pink makes her feels so me. Her husband, they are also working on building a man cave. Yeah, not a joke. Where he'll be able to curl into the fetal position and wonder where in the hell everything went wrong. Just something to think about.
We are now video streaming the Rated R Safety Show. I don't know why our host has a face for radio. Rated R Safety Show.
Oh, whispering whales. There you go. Some stuff to think about. Hey, everybody has to do their own thing. So there you go. So take a listen to this because we are in that time of the year where spending starts going all over the place and people start doing some stuff. But here you go. Let's talk about it. For most families feeling financial pressure, it's important to avoid allowing your holiday shopping to dig into your financial hole. Yeah, I did say that. Rebecca Hughes explains.
Family finance expert Elizabeth Kiss says holiday spending can be like an addiction, so it's important to make a list, plan a budget, but most importantly, base those decisions on this question.
What is the minimum that we need to have a joyous holiday? For most people, it's way less than what they're actually thinking they need to do.
She says the biggest mistake people make every year is thinking they can use credit temporarily.
I'm just going to write it out until February when I can file my income tax, and then I use the majority of the refund to put down my credit card bill. I may not always pay it all off. I've been still paying my credit card from the last 2 holidays.
I'm Rebecca Hughes.
Okay, thank you, Rebecca, for that information right there on what the hell is going on. Let's talk about this. As is this coming in? It looks like a nutcracker, but it opens your beer. Mark Mayfield explains.
That's the best way to describe Miller Lite's new beer cracker. The company is offering the limited-time bottle opener/decoration for the holiday season. The traditional nutcracker has been replaced with a mouth that opens beer bottles and a removable hat that opens beer cans. There's even a small gift wrap box of Miller Lite at the beer cracker's feet. You can get them at Miller Lite's online store today, tomorrow, and Friday only. I'm Mark Mayfield.
Okay, so the pressure's on. If you want the beer cracker, you need to get it right now. Yeah, that's what it sounded like to me. At least it sounded that way. It doesn't mean that it is correct, so there you go. Anyways, take a listen to this. Family members of a 13-year-old girl who was killed in Baltimore are still calling for justice 2 years after she was murdered. Malia Turner was shot and killed in North Stryker Street near Lillian Jones Recreation Center in Sandwincher. Michelle Smith wants to know what's going on with the investigation into who killed her daughter.
What I hope is that we get justice for the family. My daughter was a good kid. You know, that's what I'm hoping to come out of this. Peace and answers. Some closure for our family.
Smith says that she hasn't received an update on her daughter's death, and the family is frustrated with the lack of communication. She says that she does not want Malia to be forgotten. Metro Crime Stoppers is offering a reward of at least $13,000 for information leading to arrest charges. Family spokesperson says that Malia is not just a statistic.
This isn't a burglary. This isn't a street robbery. It's not even a carjacking. It is a murder of a child. That case should never become a cold one.
I agree. There should not be a cold case there for sure. Take a listen to this. 2 Colorado colleges by anti-affirmative action groups of handing out scholarships based on race. Attorney William Jacobson, president and founder of the Equal Protection Project, helped write the federal complaint against CU Denver and CU Boulder.
We have filed close to 20 similar complaints for other universities. Our goal is to stop these bad practices.
The complaints against the target of the universities in the McNair Scholarship Program, they claim that students who identify as white or Asian must demonstrate that they are economically disadvantaged in order to be eligible. It goes on to say that the underrepresented groups aren't required to prove any economic need. Jacobson claims that they created a hurdle that some students have to jump over, but doesn't base it off of race and ethnicity, which he says is problematic for scholarships. The Equal Protection Project believes that schools are violating the Equal Protection Clause on the 14th Amendment and a recent U.S. Supreme Court decision that effectively gutted affirmative action. Colorado-based civil rights attorney Terrence Carroll says that fighting the complaint could escalate into a lawsuit and become a costly, time-consuming thing for the universities.
They'll look really long and hard at whether we should have programs like this at all. And sadly, unfortunately, I think many colleges and universities will likely back away from these types of programs.
So we'll see what happens going forward, that is for sure. Anyways, with that being said, why don't we do this? Because I think that this is important. Let's go ahead and bring in some John Smalls and let him tell us about what the hell is going on with the Motivation Minute.
The Motivation Minute is courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. Today's quote was submitted by Danny. Nadia Scrivia, author of Fathoms of Forgiveness, said, "Each meeting occurs at the precise moment for which it was meant, usually when it will have the greatest impact on our lives." I love that. Now, I call this a divine appointment. My family has been blessed to have a few of these in my lifetime. One of the most amazing was in the early 1980s. My younger sister actually drowned at our lake cabin. My older brother ran to get help. Now, if he had turned to the right, a neighbor a couple cabins down had a telephone. Instead, he turned to the left and he ran 2 cabins down, right into the EMT's summer picnic. That was an absolutely divine appointment. My little sister was saved because my brother turned left. This has been today's Motivation Minute, courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. They're known for insurance quotes. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
The Texas Supreme Court heard oral arguments on Tuesday in a case that could affect the state's near-total ban on abortion. It allows a procedure to take place if the mother's life is in danger, but doctors say the rules, well, they're too vague.
In critical times of health crises, they can't make a quick legal judgment of whether or not a patient is sick enough to get an abortion so that they don't have to go to prison themselves.
Attorney Nick Cabot with the Center for Reproductive Rights says some moms have reportedly been forced to deliver a stillbirth because their physician was too afraid to perform an abortion. Florida and California are among the deadliest states for cyclists. Florida saw 805 cyclist deaths between 2017 and 2021. When calculating the percentage of cyclist deaths to total road deaths, the top 5 deadliest states are Florida, New York, Hawaii, California, and Delaware. Health updates, Sarah Lee Kessler, NBC News Radio.
Okay, thank you, Sarah Lee, for that information right there. Now I'm like, what? Hold on. What did you just say? How many deaths? So there you go. Some stuff to think about for sure as we are talking and moving and grooving. No doubt about that. Anyways, let's continue talking about some other things. Let's take a look real quick. If I look around inside of this crystal ball and take a look at some things that happened back on, let's say, this day. Back in 2019, a thumb-sized wood fragment believed to be from Jesus' manger is returned to Bethlehem. The procession and mass were held in Jerusalem to mark the return, which was described as a gift from the Pope Francis to the Franciscan Order of Monks in Bethlehem. After a day of celebration, the piece was transferred to Jerusalem to Bethlehem, where it would be on permanent display at the St. Catherine's Church. How did they come to that determination? I mean, I'm kind of interested. Seriously, I want to know more. Tell me more, for sure. Anyways, let's talk about some birthdays that are going on today. Laura Morano turns 28. Stephon Diggs and David Lambert both turned 30. Russell Wilson, 35. Dana Brooke, 35. Jamon Chan turns 41. The Game turns 44. Lauren German, 45. Anna Faris turns 47. Don Cheadle turns 59. Howie Mandel turns 68. And Jerry the King Lawler, he turned 74 today, if you're looking at some birthdays. If you're looking at some days of the year to celebrate, I always have some of those for you. It's National Square Dancing Day, Electronic Greeting Day, Rockefeller Center Christmas Tree Lighting Day. How's that a day? It doesn't have it at night. Package Protection Day, National Chocolates Day, International Jaguar Day, and Throw Out Leftovers Day, and National Lemon Cream Pie Day. National Lemon Cream Pie. Nobody told me about this. I would have been ready this morning to celebrate. No doubt about it. Anyways, hopefully you're having all kinds of fun as we are hanging out on this Whip 'em Out Wednesday. No doubt about that. If you do need some whack facts, let's talk about that. Nintendo's first products were playing cards. The first product that Sony came out with was a rice cooker. Google got its name from the word Gogol, which refers to the number 1 with 100 zeros after it. People who look younger than their age tend to live longer. Popcorn is known to be the best, healthiest snack. It builds bone, muscle, tissue, aids digestion, and it is good for your teeth. And gold, if you did not know this, is edible. Don't try it. I'm just letting you know. That's what's going on. If you need a random joke for today, I have one for you. Any job is a dream job if you can fall asleep during meetings. No, seriously, think about that. If you need a phone starter for today, try that. What brand are you most loyal to and why? If you need a question for the water cooler, try this. 13% of people say that they love doing this holiday preparation activity. What is it? Wrapping presents. So there you go. Anyways, thank you for hanging out with me on this lovely Whip 'em Out Wednesday. If you want to hang out with me a little bit more, I'll be going over to Radio Big exclusively for the next couple hours or so, doing the things that we get to do. No doubt about that. So we'd love to see you over there as we talk about the world of music and entertainment and play some music for you as we do that. If you want to hang out and hear about the world of safety consulting, well, you have the opportunity to do that, as Sheldon Primus is on the verge of coming in and taking over and doing the thing that he does here on Safety FM. So you have some options there available for you. Thank you for always being the best part of Safety FM and Radio Big, and that is the listener, because without you, it doesn't make a lot of sense to do what we do around here. If I can't leave you with a deep thought for today, I would love to leave you with this one. The true measure of a man is how he treats someone who can do himself absolutely nothing. Think about that. That might take you places that you did not expect. Anyways, I know who you are.
Duh.
You know who I am. Love you, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.
Looking for the champ, we on the way. Now's your chance to say it to my face. I'ma take the title to my grave. Spiritual, I turn you all to pay.
I drop bombs. Yeah, I got bite like Mamba and Python. Dropping all bombs, I drop bombs. Yeah, I got bite like Mamba and Python.
Watch your step, look out for mine. You don't want to cross the line. Eyes is full of dollar signs. I'ma take what's mine.
This is war.
Chaos.